Welcome, and thanks for joining me. Today, we're diving into a single, ancient Coptic hymn that comes to us from the incredible School of Hymns at MRTtv Coptic channel. We often think of faith as a set of ideas, right? But what if it was also a map? This hymn we're looking at, it isn't just a beautiful song. It's like a piece of spiritual geography. It shows us exactly where and how a divine light first broke through the darkness. So let's see what it has to show us.
Not all darkness is obvious. It's not always this big, dramatic thing. Sometimes it's actually hidden behind a life that looks perfectly fine on the outside. You're smiling, you're getting things done, but deep down, something just feels unlit. It's that quiet, nagging sense that even when everything looks right, your heart just isn't fully in it. This is the kind of shadow the church has understood for a very, very long time.
And in response to that exact feeling, the church offers this ancient hymn. It doesn't start with some abstract theory. It starts with a bold, almost shocking confession. Galilee of the Gentiles, the people who sat in darkness have seen the great light. Now, the most powerful part of this claim, it isn't just about some people who lived a long time ago. It's a declaration meant for us, right now.
So this brings up a really important question. Why Galilee? Of all the places on Earth, why this specific one? The hymn intentionally moves us from that internal feeling of darkness to a real physical location you could find on a map. And you have to understand, the choice of Galilee was no accident. This was not the center of power. It wasn't Jerusalem with its grand temple and religious elite. No, this was the fringe, a place of mixed cultures, seen as spiritually second-rate, a home for outsiders. Think about that for a second. Salvation didn't begin in a palace. It began on the margins, in the last place anyone would have expected. This is exactly why the details matter so much. The scriptures are so precise. They name towns like Capernaum and old territories like Zebulun and Naphtali. This isn't just poetic detail. It's prophecy being fulfilled on a real-world map. So when the church sings this hymn, it's not offering some vague hope. It's pointing to a pin on a map, a specific place on earth where salvation became part of our actual geography. Okay, so if Galilee is the where, the next part of the hymn tells us the what. It talks about a great light. And this is absolutely crucial. This light isn't a new philosophy or set of rules. It's a presence. And you have to notice the language here is so careful. It's not a light, one among many. It is the great light. And it doesn't say people discovered this light as if they found it through their own hard work. No, it says the light shined on them. This is an active outside force. This light is a person. This is where the hymn stops being just poetry and becomes this powerful declaration. To call Christ the great light is a massive claim about who he is. It's a statement of his divinity. The hymn isn't just telling a nice story. It's flat out announcing that God himself has arrived on the scene. And this light, it doesn't just skim the surface. It goes deeper. It goes into all the parts of our lives that we've hidden away, buried, or tried to silence. But here's the thing. The purpose isn't to shame us. It's to save us. Because when this light shows up, nothing can stay buried, and nothing is exposed without the promise of healing. It comes to break our hearts open, not to shatter them, but so they can actually live again. Now, what's so amazing is that the church didn't just lock this profound theology away in dusty old books. It gave it a voice. It decided to sing it. And this is where we see the direct line connecting this hymn to the ancient teachings of the church fathers. I mean, just look at this. It's incredible. On one side, you have the precise scholarly teaching of a brilliant theologian like St. Cyril. And on the other, you have the lyrics being sung by ordinary people in church. It's the exact same faith. This shows us that the church isn't inventing new doctrines. It's breathing life into the ancient faith by singing it out loud. And this leads us to such a beautiful and important takeaway. What is liturgy? Well, simply put, liturgy is theology that has learned how to breathe. It's the place where deep, complex truth becomes alive, it becomes accessible, and it becomes something we can all be a part of, not just something we study. Okay, you know what? Before we go any further, let's just stop explaining. Let's just listen. Let this ancient melody speak for itself.
That sound, it takes this massive historical cosmic event and it does something really remarkable. It brings it all into the personal. It shifts the geography from ancient Galilee to the human heart. Christ says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock." The very same great light that burst onto the scene in a marginalized little region 2,000 years ago is now waiting at the door of every single heart. Your heart, my heart. And he knocks. He never forces his way in.
So what happens if that door opens? Well, he doesn't come in to accuse or to judge. He comes, in his own words, to dine with you. Now, in the Bible, dining is never just about food. It's about presence. It's about relationship. It's about communion. So the most important point is this: Christ doesn't just light up a dark moment and then disappear. He comes to stay.
So when the church sings Te Galilia, she isn't just performing a song. She's testifying. She's standing up and bearing witness to the fact that the divine light actually entered real history, our physical geography and our deepest human pain, and it was not put out. And this really brings us to the end. The question this hymn leaves us with is not, did the light come? History and faith both testify that it did. The real question is for us, right here, right now. Are you willing to look up? If you want to explore more of this incredible tradition and hear these hymns in all their fullness, please be sure to find and subscribe to the MRTv Coptic channel on YouTube. If this was helpful, please like it and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Thank you so much for joining us.